Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to talk about Season 17, and my question is, did it suck? The answer is, of course, no! Every Tom Baker season is fantastic, and there is not a single season in classic Doctor Who that sucks. Season 23 is the weakest, but it doesn't suck. It's just kind of decently good. If you want to talk about seasons or series in Doctor Who that suck, you have to move into the modern series a bit. And even they have bright spots in them. Every season/series of Doctor Who has bright spots. Even Series 11 has a couple really good episodes. Season 17, I like a lot. I actually, the Tom Baker era, since I started really doing the channel, about 2 or 3 years ago now? Probably about 3 years ago now, when I really started focusing on trying to do like a video every day, stuff like that. The Tom Baker era has moved around a lot, like ranking the seasons, for example. Like I did a video ranking the Tom Baker era, and I think I've done more than one, to be honest. And it's interesting to see how the list has moved. Now, when I did that first video, I hadn't seen every Tom Baker story yet, but that's something, of course, I'd always mention when I was talking about a season. But now that I've seen all of his era, I find, excuse me, I find my opinion constantly shifting. Well, maybe not constantly, but still flipping back and forth. Part of this is, of course, just what Tom Baker Doctor Who I'm in the mood for, because some of his seasons are so drastically different. I mean, he basically has 3 eras between the Hinchcliffe era, the Williams era, and his final season, season 18. So it's kind of which one am I in the mood for, which one appeals to me more at the time. Again, he has no bad seasons. I love all 7 of Tom's seasons. I love them, all of them. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have a bad story, because Power of Kroll exists. And to be honest, the Leisure Hive I'm not too keen on. The Invisible Enemy I'm not too keen on. And the Invasion of Time I'm not too keen on. And the Hand of Fear I'm not really that too keen on, just because episode 4 kind of falls apart. But that's really, again, not a lot of his that I just think aren't really that great. Season 17 is all bangers for me. Like, I'm not saying they're all masterpieces, but I love every story in Season 17, including Shota. Shota is part of Season 17, at least in this house. And on the box set, of course. I enjoy all of the stories. Douglas Adams' sense of humor and his style of humor does pervade this season because, one, he writes one of the stories in it, he co-writes another story in it, and as script editor, you can tell where he kind of added things in stories. Like, I know he changed a lot in Destiny of the Daleks. I really like Destiny of the Daleks. It's fun. And Tom Baker, part of this works because, of course, Tom Baker and Lalla Ward have really hit it off. They're a couple. They're very happy. And that shows in their performance. Tom Baker, this could be the season where he looks like he's having the most fun. He looks very happy. This is probably him at his peak wit. I absolutely love his style of humor here. I like Romana as a companion. I love all the Fourth Doctor companions. I mean, Lalla Ward's Romana is probably my least favorite of his, and I still really like her a lot. She's good. We still have K9. I'm not quite as keen on the replacement voice for K9. I was glad when John came back in season 18, but it's fine. And then I enjoy the stories. Again, Destiny of the Daleks, I like. It has a silly humor to it I enjoy. I love City of Death. It's my favorite Doctor Who story. Creature from the Pit, massively underrated. You guys have heard me talk about Creature from the Pit. And Nightmare of Eden is probably, well, it's definitely my least favorite of the season. It's fine, though. It's good. It's like that. It's easing into good. It's a nice watch, especially with the updated effects. I'll admit, I have never sat through Nightmare of Eden and watched the whole thing with the original effects. I probably need to do that at some point. But with the updated effects, it's really good. Although why they picked teal for the laser beams, I will never understand. But it's a good story. And it's definitely tackling a subject matter you don't really expect from Doctor Who, especially at the time, of course, of drug use. That's interesting. And doing its own sci-fi spin on it, which Doctor Who is ever so clever at. And then we have Horns of Nymon. You guys just love Horns of Nymon. Horns of Nymon what you get out of Horns of Nymon is going to vary drastically depending on the state of mind you approach Horns of Nymon with. If you go into the Horns of Nymon expecting something from the Hinchcliffe era, or Horror of Fang Rot, or City of Death, you're going to be very disappointed. You're not going to like it. But if you approach Horns of Nymon, especially if you have foreknowledge of it, like if you know what Horns of Nymon is, you've heard people talk about it ahead of time, you know it's not considered good, that it's often considered very badly, that it's camp, that it's Sidley, that Graham Chowder, or whatever his name is just hamming it up. If you go into that with that foreknowledge, you can have so much fun with this story. It's silly camp pantomime. And if you approach it with that mindset, you can have so much fun with the story. I love going back and rewatching the story. And this is from someone who hated it the first time I saw it, because I knew nothing about this story the first time I watched it. I was just in the store, wanted to buy a new Tom Baker DVD because Tom Baker is my doctor. And so that one was there. It looked interesting, sounded interesting. I bought it. Watched it the first time and was like, we're talking, this is making Power of Crow look good. I don't even know what made me go back and watch it again, or if it was just like I was bored and I wanted to watch something I hadn't watched in a while and I watched it again. It's been on repeat viewings to where it grew on me. It's an acquired taste for me. But now that I understand what it is, I have so much fun with it. I love Graham just playing Soul Deed. I love Soul Deed in this. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love that he's just got it dialed up to 35 with the camp. And he's just embracing it. You're all doomed. Doomed. It's so much fun. But if you could approach Horns with that mindset of not really taking it seriously and just having fun with it, then you're going to have a good time. And then I love Shota. Shota is just creative writing to me. The live action shots look really good, especially the stuff shot on film for location work. The location work itself looks gorgeous, by the way. I love the cast. Mark's incidental music he came up for it is really good. Doesn't quite feel like Dudley Simpson stuff to me, but it's fine. It's really good. And then the animation looks really nice, and the transitioning from animation to live action never feels jarring to me. Maybe it's because they do that first transition so well with the sky, but it never feels jarring to me. Not even the first time I watched it, which is a huge accomplishment considering how much back and forth it has to do over the course of the story, especially toward the end. It's a fun season. It's a humorous season. It's a witty season. It's a clever season. It doesn't have to be season 13 or season 12 or season 14 or season 7 or season 10 or season 8. It's its own thing. And I love the fact that Douglas Adams gets the Fourth Doctor. He knows how to write the Fourth Doctor. He knows how to script edit the Fourth Doctor. He probably gets the Fourth Doctor better than anyone besides Tom Baker. And that's really good for me. I really love season 17. It ranked really high when I was ranking all of the seasons and series when I did my series on that last year in the beginning. Well, I guess technically the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. Season 17 was high on that list. It was in the top 5, I remember. And it's there for a reason. Obviously, the budget was allocated to the tentpole stories, City of Death and Shota, which makes what happened with Shota even more tragic. To where the other stories suffered budget-wise because they put all the money into City of Death and Shota. And so the others very much do have a restrained budget. That is very apparent. But to me, especially with Horns of Nymon, it just lends to the camp. And I love it. So I want to know what you think of Season 17 and the stories in it. Comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications as well. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support. As I do the support of all of my patrons, it is much appreciated. My link to my Patreon is down in the description. YouTube memberships are available. My P.O. box is down there as well. And most importantly, thank you for watching.